What is going on, beautiful people? And welcome back to the channel. I'm JP, and this is Jpgamez. And I just wanted to go over a buying guide with you guys for this holiday season, but it's going to be a little different. I'm doing a buying guide for collectors. So if you're buying for someone who collects video games and you don't know what to go with or what to get them, this is perfect for you. These are some recommendations that I would be happy with receiving, and you can't really go wrong with it. So I see, I'm going to try to avoid going over games, because usually if you're buying for a collector, they know if there's a game they want, they usually go and get it. And it's not really, they don't really wait. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are titles that come out for the holiday season that some people, I mean, it's easy to go, like Ghost of Yotei would be a good example to buy someone with a PS5. You couldn't go wrong with that if they don't have it, because it just came out and it's one of the best games on the PS5 at the moment. So you do have options like that. But this is more of a niche video going over stuff that you could do so you don't end up accidentally buying a duplicate game for them, or just in general get them something that they don't need or want. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first thing I'm going to say is go with something for their game room. So what I mean by that is buy something that's kind of like a collectible, something video game related, something I find really cool. These are on Etsy, and or if you know someone who does 3D printing, you can get these. But little gaming logos. So this one's for the PS5, and it's just a little display item I can put on my shelf right above my PlayStation 5 games. Looks great, adds some flair to the game room, and I mean, you honestly can't go wrong with that. I have one for the Xbox. I have a buddy who made me one for the Game Boy Advance. I have one for the PS2. And they add a lot to your game room, and they don't take up a lot of room. Stuff like that. Or if you go into a game store and they're getting rid of like some marketing priest. Like if you say you go to Walmart and they're getting rid of marketing for and you're buying for someone who you know is a big Nintendo fan. There you go. If it's like, say it's like a Mario display, and they just give it to you, that's a very easy Christmas gift for a Nintendo collector. They would love that because it's something unique, and it adds to their game room without adding like that. Like it's just different. It's going to catch your eye. It's a talking piece. When someone comes into your room, they're going to be like, oh wow, where'd you get that? And it just opens up a whole story. And it's not something that you have to worry about them really having, because it's kind of a one of a kind thing. So and I'm not saying that's like the route to go with everything, but like Etsy would be a great place to start. Just getting something like that. Like one thing I see that's really cool, if you have someone who's like a big Pokemon fan, there's a person on Etsy who takes Game Boys and makes like Pokemon dioramas out of them, and those are really just neat. And for someone who's like crazy about Pokemon, that you can't go wrong with that, especially if you can figure out what their favorite Pokemon is and then get with the Etsy artist. And I know it's a little late in the month for that, but still, as a late Christmas gift, that would be amazing for anybody who's a big fan of Pokemon. You could easily find like t-shirts, stuff like that, stuff that's just gaming without gaming, if that makes sense. And you really can't go wrong with that, getting just something that adds to their game room without physically adding to it. Another thing I would recommend is accessories. I mean, if they have a Nintendo Switch, you can't go wrong with getting them a Switch case. Even if they have one, it never hurts to have another Switch case, because you never know, they might end up down the road getting another Switch, or you never just know, something might happen to their Switch case. And I mean, you can't go wrong with extra controllers, cords. I mean, really, with accessories, there's just so much options there. You really can't go wrong with getting them accessories. So, like, for a PlayStation 5, I can't tell you how many times I've needed a Type-C cord and not been able to find it. For PS4, my micro USB cord not just be missing, and it just makes life easier by having spares of those. Now, controllers are a little bit extreme, but I mean, there's nothing better than having multiple controllers, one that's constantly on charge while the other one you're playing, when it dies, you just switch them out. Makes life 20 times easier. You can also get them charging stands. Those are nice. Controller holders. I mean, they make video game inspired, like you can find Spyro the Dragon, and all it is just Spyro the Dragon with his hands out, and it holds your controllers. Looks good to display them. Plus, I mean, it adds that flair to your game room without going over the top. So you really can't beat stuff like that. I mean, and then I saw there's this one guy. I went to a con once, and he was 3D printing, and he actually had the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda, and it was a stand that you actually held your controller. And he was going to do the wrench from Ratchet and Clank. He was going to have one for that, and just so many cool things you can go with that. Something I got right here. This is a promotional item, but this is actually for pins and stuff. It's a Donkey Kong barrel for the Donkey Kong Country game they released on Switch. You can, this just right here, little things like that add so much to the game room. It's kind of, you wouldn't think about it, but it does. And it just gives that game room more character, in my opinion. So extra accessories you can't go wrong with. Carrying, just anything marketable like that, you can't go wrong with. Another big thing I would recommend looking at possibly, so there's a site online called Retro Protection, and they make these little cases. It's just a see-through plastic case. These are amazing, and they make it for about every system. This one right here is for PS4. I'm pretty sure it works for PS3 and other systems, of course. And all it is just a plastic case you can throw your game in, and it protects it. And I will say this, every collector, I don't care what kind of collector you are, every collector has an item in their collection that's either A, very valuable, or B, very important to them. And it could be both. It could be very important to them and very valuable. But there's something in everybody's collection that is like a grail item that they cherish and they don't want nothing to happen to. This right here keeps it safe. These are amazing. They're real simple. You just slide the game in, flip the flaps down, and boom, it's protected. And you can't go wrong with that. Honestly, it keeps it dust-free, keeps it clean, keeps it stored safely, and nobody wants to see their game or whatever they're wanting to display get damaged because it fell off a shelf. And I'm not saying this is like 100% proof you want to keep it safe from that, but it's better than just the case. So you really can't go wrong with those. And another thing I'd recommend, and this is a little bit pricier on the side of things, but it's added so much to my just gaming experience. There is a light thing you can buy that's kind of like LED lights. It's called Jpgamez lights. And the one I got was about $100. And what it did was you buy it to the size dimension of your TV, and then it puts a little camera at the very top of your TV. And then that camera watches the screen, and you can set it on your phone to match like what's happening on the TV. So while you're playing a game, if say there's like in a corner an explosion happens, that light will flash that color of the explosion and stuff. And that has added so much to my games. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got it when I first started playing Clair Obscur, and I fell in love with it. That's what sold me on it. I mean, I want to do my whole game room in LED lights now just because of that. And I highly recommend the Jpgamez lights. And it's just, they've made the whole experience so much better. And I would highly recommend, if you're buying for your significant other and you really want to just up their gameplay experience, highly recommend the Jpgamez lights. Another thing, if you are wanting to try to get them a game, really find out what system they're collecting for. So for me personally, I'm going for like original Xbox, a complete set. Ask friends, ask family, hey, do they have this? Do you know if this is something that they're looking to get? And try to narrow it down as best as you can, because it gets really hard, especially with retro collecting, like buying for people who collect retro video games. It can be a struggle trying to find something they don't have or that they want, because retro games, yes, but they don't have the advertisement like these modern games are, because they're not like the new big hits. They were the hits of their time, but now they're just not. So when you're going out to like GameStop, Walmart, Target, you're not seeing these games, and you might not be a gamer yourself, so therefore you're not very knowledgeable about these. So it's really important, if you're going to try to buy a retro game, is kind of do research on it, see if it's something they would be interested in, or see if it's like for example, I know I'm kind of backtracking there, but for example, let me say this. My best friend is going for a complete loose N64 set. I have what he has in his collection. He sent me the photos of it. I know what he has. So if I wanted to go and buy something for his N64 set, I have that capability because I know what he's bought. I've kept track of it. I've helped him with his set, and it just makes it easier. Now, if I didn't have that, it would be a lot harder for me to go out there and buy something for that set, because I wouldn't know if he had it. And to me personally, it might not matter to some collectors, but to me personally, the condition of stuff. I don't want if it's a cartridge-based game, I don't want it if the sticker's messed up. If it's destroyed. I don't like ROM hacks that much. So there's a lot of, when you're buying for a collector, you got to kind of look for things like that, not upset them, but that fit their collection, because you want them to just be able to display it and they want to really enjoy it. And I'm not saying that if someone bought me an N64 game and the sticker was messed up, I would still be very grateful for that. But it's just knowing what that collector's into and how they collect, that plays a big part in what to buy them. And like I said, these items here you can't go wrong with. Finding anything that's merchandisable that people like game stores, retail stores, they're getting rid of, those are great gift ideas. I mean, if someone came in with a standee for a game that I love, I would be thrilled about that. That would be awesome. I look for that stuff when I go game hunting. Not too long ago, I went to Walmart and got the Donkey Kong Bonanza little displays they had over their cabinets. And to me, that was awesome. Didn't have to pay anything for it. They were going to throw it out. They just gave it to me. And if I would have got that for Christmas, I would have been over the moon. And like I said, you can't go wrong with these. You absolutely cannot go wrong with these. Any collector would be grateful just to have something that they can put on their collection. And another thing you can do, if you don't want to do the box protectors, they make plastic baggies as well that you can put your games in. And now my only issue with the plastic baggies is once you, like if it's a game that you're going to be playing a lot of, once you open this like slip cover right here and everything, the adhesive's not as good anymore. So it just, over time, that wears down. So it's not like end of the world, but in my opinion, the box is better, just in my personal opinion, with as if you're going to be playing the game repetitively and stuff like that. And then, like I said, can't go wrong with accessories. Extra controllers. I wouldn't go like super crazy and be buying people hard drives or stuff like that, but like carrying cases, things that just make the experience with their accessories better, like charging stands, stuff like that. And then anything for the game room, honestly, is the best. I know a lot of collectors who just, their game room is their man cave and they want to be pristine. And I mean, more stuff they add to it that adds that, like, just goes with the decor of it. Just really, that's the big thing. And those are kind of like the big things I got for if you're buying for a collector. There's not really, I mean, besides buying them games, but like I said, that's kind of harder to do unless you really know who you're buying for. And don't get me wrong, you could always go the route. Like, I know some people just give me a GameStop gift card, me personally. And that to me is just as good as you going to buy me the game. Because then you know I'm going to go and get what I want with it. And I love that. I mean, if I got a $50 GameStop gift card, I'm not going to be upset about that. I don't think there would be a collector out there to be upset about that. Because then they can go and see the item, buy what they want, and it's going to fit what they want in their collection. And you don't have to worry about that. And you still got them something that they're going to cherish and really enjoy. And guys, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would recommend doing for this holiday season. I really, I think that would kind of be gift cards. I feel like are 100% acceptable if you're buying for a collector. And I like I said, I would not be upset if I got gift cards for Christmas to go add to my collection. Like if you got one of those Visa cards that let them go and spend it anywhere they want, you can't go wrong with that. And guys, I just want to say, I think that's everything I have. And I appreciate you checking out the channel. You guys have a good one.